Why do you think this list has not been made public? Why do you think the ICI never asked you for a copy? I mean, I would like to ask you for a copy because I think everybody is curious, and it seems like this would unlock a lot of questions and solve maybe some of the mysteries that we are facing with this case.
Not surprisingly, there are many politicians who are on the list because the assumption anyway is that congressmen and senators insert projects into the DPWH budget, although this is not officially admitted by the DPWH in the net. But the perhaps less expected thing is that there's also other people outside of the legislature that insert projects into the budget based on the names in the list. This includes not only cabinet secretaries but even undersecretaries.
Well,
And I think it shows that flood control was really used as a form of compensation for people. I'm sorry to put it in those terms, but I think the disclosure of the list will show that there are people who have nothing to do with flood control that are somehow, according to the list, assigning in what place to plan flood control projects.
But Congressman, can this list be considered the smoking gun to prove that lawmakers, proponents indeed have anomalous dealings when it comes to infrastructure projects? Because on the contrary, they can claim that it's just a list.
Well, first, I would like to hear what the DPWH has to say about even acknowledging the existence of the list. That's why it's helpful that the media is bringing attention to this, because it's, I think, very reasonable to ask that this be officially commented on.
Well, following, Congressman, following the untimely passing of Usec Cabral, what do you think the implication of that will be on the investigation into flood control projects? And is there anyone else who shares the same amount of knowledge as Usec Cabral did?
Well, there are people who are in her office who are still in DPWH. And there are also people in Congress that are reported to be handling insertions at the Congress level. But when I was in the ICI, I actually asked them, and they said that Usec Cabral probably knew more than even Secretary Bonoan, and certainly more than Roberto Bernardo. And that's why it was conspicuous that she was not granted the same platform in the hearings to share what she knows, and that perhaps by, as in their own words, publicly shaming people like her, they were actually and eventually irreversibly discouraging them to share the information that they had.
Do you suspect foul play in her death?
I'm not in the best position to answer that, but I think there's also a report that she was emotionally affected by recent events, and of course people can just draw their own conclusions, but it's certainly not easy to go through all of this public attention even before a formal case is filed on you.
Congressman, with the new leadership in the DPWH, are you saying that they are not inclined to go deep into this scandal?
And also, have you approached Secretary Vince with this list?
Secretary Dizon
Yes.
was on the phone when I was meeting with Undersecretary Cabral on September 4 and authorized the release of the list to me. And I thought that after it was officially released to me, that it would be given to other agencies of government like the Ombudsman and the ICI, and even released to the public. And that's why I'm waiting for this to be officially commented upon.
Okay. So the implication is that there are powerful people who are preventing this list from coming out?
Well, presumably the people who are on the list don't want it to come out. And there are many people in the legislature and outside of it who are on the list.
How far up does the list go, Congressman?
Well, the list doesn't entirely consist of people's names, but there's a code name, for example, like leadership, and that would have a large amount of projects attached to it, including some of the projects that are constructed by some of the people who I've named previously in my own district. I would leave it then to the DPWH to explain who is leadership.
All right. I just like to refer to one press conference you had that was a bit strange because you were speaking to someone from the DPWH and you were saying your source was the DPWH, and then the following day you denied. Were you protecting Usec Cabral at that time? What was...
Oh, no, the person who called me was a new appointee of the DPWH on the instruction of Secretary Dizon, which was confirmed by Secretary Dizon. And that was because I worked with them to confirm also that there were two appointees who were themselves contractors, who were brought in by an undersecretary who was connected to Congressman Garjola. And that's a totally different episode than the file from Undersecretary Cabral. But from that, you can see that I've been probing into the DPWH